Hello. It feels so familiar that my name is Sarika. I'm operating and in charge for the German production company One Fine Day Films. We run a training initiative for filmmakers in Africa. Now that sounds very interesting, and very few people actually can visualize what is that exactly, a training program for filmmakers. I've brought a little brochure which gives some images and some pictures how that looks when we actually do it. One Fine Day Films was initiated by the German director Tom Tykwer, who did films like Run Lola Run, International, Perfume, Cloud Atlas lately. And his wife, Marie Steinmann, did several arts education workshops in the slums of Nairobi. In 2008, Tom joined her and said, well, I want to do an art education too, but the only art I know is film. So Tom decided that there is no better way to teach film than by making a film. And somehow he came up with this idea of shooting a feature film. And he recruited somebody to write a script, and he found somebody who would be interested in directing. And nobody here in Germany really knew what that was or what he was doing. We were working on a completely different film here, but he was doing something in Kenya, and we all had absolutely no idea what it was. Until we flew there, because we were shooting on 35 millimeters, so the film had to come back, and somebody always had to collect the rolls and bring them to the lab here in Germany. And Tom himself didn't have any idea how that would actually look like, how to teach people how to make a film. But we just made a film. We shot it in 13 days. That was our first feature film called Soul Boy. And we brought the editor and the director in Kenya were then editing a film. So after a couple of months, we thought, well, maybe we should have a look at what they're doing. So we brought them to Berlin, had a look on what they were doing. We're discussing the first edit. And it took 1.5 years until we completed the film. And it's now a 60-minute feature film. It was the first film which we produced, and it was very successful for what it was. And Tom and Marie very early on decided that we should continue doing that. So they founded a spin-off of One Fine Day, which is now One Fine Day Films. We are based in Berlin, and together with the Deutsche Welle Akademie, I think you had some guest lecturer called Michael Tecklenburg a couple of days ago. Michael was also with us in Kenya a couple of years ago. So we teamed up, and now we have a 2-module training workshop. So on the one hand, there is like a classroom situation workshop where we train in 7 different departments: directing, cinematography, production design, editing, sound, and script writing. And we bring filmmakers from all over Africa to Nairobi. We invite them to get taught in their respective department. So it's not only about a director, it's not only about a cinematographer, it's really about the art and craft of all of the jobs involved. We are having our next workshops in 3 weeks, so that was why we are a little bit busy these days. And at the same time, we also have a current film in post-production. So everything is going sort of parallel, but the basic idea is that from that 5 to 12 people who come into every department, we then select the group of people with whom we, a couple of months later, shoot a feature film. In some cases, like, of course, we can only have one director, so we would only choose one from the directing class. But for the cinematography, we would take the entire department. Production design, the whole department would come with us. So and then, of course, we crew in Nairobi and in Kenya for the rest of the team. We have done that now 4 times, with a 4th movie being currently in post-production. And the people who you are going to meet after this film are the director and the editor and one of the main actors of our new film, which is not yet released, which is currently in post-production. And we had a very early morning because we had a edit screening this morning. So forgive them if they have still a lot of notes in their head of what they have to amend. The movie which you're now going to see, Something Necessary, is the third film. So I have to say there are four films. The first one is Soul Boy, which I just said is the pilot project. The second one is called Nairobi Half-Life. Nairobi Half-Life was Kenya's first ever entry to the Oscars, which made the Kenyans very proud, and was actually, I think, up till today, it's the most successful Kenyan film ever produced. The third film, Something Necessary, is completely different. It's a film set against the 2007-2008 post-electoral violence, which happened in Kenya. And this movie will have its North American premiere in 2 weeks in Toronto, which is a highly acclaimed film festival. So we are very happy that the movie is traveling also. And yeah, the fourth film is Veve, which we have just shot in Nairobi in May. And I guess Simon, the director, will tell you a little bit more about that. Now, I don't know whether you have any questions or...
Any questions?
Yes. I guess what you will, maybe you will have a little bit more questions, because what actually is the mentoring team? Because you will read in the credits of the film that there was a director, and then there was a supervising director, there was an editor and a supervising editor. So what actually, how does that work is what a lot of people ask us. And I guess it's the most interesting to hear it from the people later on who have been involved in that and who we've exposed to that endeavor. Enjoy.